Good morning, friends. In previous class, we have discussed that evolutionary evidence. Under that, we have discussed small concept like homologous and analogous, and also we have discussed linkage, and also we have discussed vestigial organs. Now we are going to continue with another concept under evolutionary evidence, that is paleontology. Already we have said that paleontology is one of the evidence of evolution, which is how the evolution is occurred and what are the characteristics are notified, that all the things to know. Another branch of science is helpful to study. So what is that is paleontology. So what is paleontology is nothing but it is a branch of science that studies that fossils. So it studies fossils. So what is the paleontology branch means? It is a branch of science, and what is it is going to do is it studies the fossils. What is fossil? So fossils are nothing but preserved remains of dead plants and animals. So whatever it is, whether it is vertebrates or invertebrates, any form of the organisms, any form of the plants which are survived in remote past, means in earlier, so in the ancient period or in the beginning of the earth. So whatever it is the organism that are found earlier, they get died. So those died organisms are left remains, that is small traces, left remains of dead plants and animals. Then what we can call them as fossils. These fossils also helps us to study the evolution, how it is occurred. So what is fossil means? Preserved. Fossils are nothing but preserved remains of plants and dead plants and animals, and which are lived in remote past, and what they are called? Fossils. So these fossils, how these fossils are forming, how can we calculate the age of the fossils, that we used to learn under the paleontology. So in general, if any organism is died, usually they get buried under the soil and they get decomposed. That is commonly occurring. But what is happening here? So any organism that is died, it do not undergoes complete decomposition by the natural process. So some of the remains, some parts of the body get remain, that are usually formed as fossils. Like we can take the skeleton. The bones will not get decomposed. They get remains. That's what such kind of remain parts of any organism like plants or animals, they used to collect and used to study and estimate the age and estimate when they were formed. For that purpose, the paleontology is the branch of science is helpful for us. And where these fossils are generally going to be occur. So generally the fossils, whatever it is a form, so any organism, if they are trapped in between lava, if they are trapped in between mud, or if it is trapped in between asphalt, or it may be trapped in between snow, anywhere. So in such conditions, if any organism is trapped, they will not completely decompose. That remains will be found in between these any form of the substances if the organisms are trapped after their death, and they will get remains that usually we can collect and study as fossils. Now, for example, if an insect died and trapped in mud, if it is trapped in mud, so what is happening here? The mud do not allows to complete decomposition of the insect. What is happening here? The mud first start dry and become hard. So due to this dry and hardness of the mud, that do not allows to complete decomposition of the insect, and that we can collect and use to study its structure and its nature of the body organization. That is the way in which fossil is helpful to us, and in this manner only we have come know to that the formation of existence of the dinosaurs in Jurassic period. So dinosaurs, as we have seen that, which are found in Jurassic age. So these dinosaurs are existed on the earth, or whether they survive or not, in general we don't know. Why? Because present they are not found on the earth. So due to this reason we don't know. But how we come know that dinosaurs are also exist on the earth? Because of their fossils which I have studied, and they come to know that the fossils are one of the best evidence of evolution. That is going to be useful. Now, how can we calculate the age of the fossils? So, the age of the fossils can be calculated by means of two methods. So, what are the two methods? One is relative method, age. No age of fossils. So, the age can be calculated by using two methods. What are the two methods? One is relative method and another one is absolute method. So, under relative method and absolute method, these are the two methods that are helpful to know that structural organization of the fossils. So, what is relative method? So, under relative method, so this is surface of the earth. So, lower levels of the earth. So, here what is happening here? So, an insect or any organism or any invertebrate, any organism is died and buried under the soil in this layer. So, an invertebrate is died and buried under the soil. So, after 100 millions of years, so dinosaurs, they died and buried under the soil. Again, after 100 millions of years, horse died and buried under the soil. Now, due to the wind or maybe rain, that may cause wash out the surface of the earth. So, due to this reason, what we are going to know here, the surface of the earth which is washed out, what is happening here? So, the horse fossil is going to be appear. After that, dinosaurs will get appear. Next, invertebrate will get appear. So, what is happening here? So, the earlier which is the organism which is very close to the surface, that we can come to know as the recently died organism. Next, and this we can come to know that invertebrates are the organisms which are died earlier when compared to these two. So, under relative method, what we are going to know is the age of the fossil is calculated by using the age of other fossils or other any kind of sedimentary rocks which are found at the same area. So, the age, they are comparing by seeing itself, we can compare which is earlier, this is earlier. Next, this one. Next, this is the last one. So, what is happening here? So, which is recent died and which is earlier died, we can come to know by calculating their age by comparing the age of other fossils and sedimentary rocks. Why? Because here, sedimentary rocks also one of the So sedimentary rocks are also one of the way in which the organisms can get trapped and fossils will be formed. So in this way, the which is very close to the surface, that is recently died organism we can come to know. And next, and these the lowest organism which is found here is earlier organism which is exist, later on this one, later on this one. So what is happening here? By the calculating the age of the organism, that is comparing with another age of the fossils, that makes us to know that age of the fossils by using relative method. Next, what is absolute method? So under absolute method, by radiometric dating, by using radiometric dating, we can calculate the age of the fossils. So radiometric dating helps us to calculate the age of the fossils. How it is useful to us? So as we know that the elements which are exist on the earth, some of the elements they are also called as isotopes. So what is isotope? So the elements which are having same atomic number and showing the variation in their atomic mass. So such kind of different types of isotopes are also found in the fossils. So by passing these by radiometric method, the radio waves which are carrying these isotopes allows to decay the isotopes of the fossils. By the decaying of these isotopes, we can calculate the age of the fossils. So for this calculating, we can use carbon also is there. Carbon 14 is there. Potassium 40 is there. Potassium 40 is there. So these are the some of the carbon isotopes that helps us to calculate the age of the isotopes. Age of the fossils. So by this we can come to know that the relative method is one of the method that helps us to calculate the age of the fossils by comparing the age of different fossils. That is the one thing. And the absolute method is a method in which the radiometric dating is helpful to calculate the age of the fossils. So for that we can use the radioisotopes which are exist in the nature, like carbon 14, and also we can use potassium 40. These are the way in which we can come to know the evolution by using fossils. Next, evolution in stages. Another concept. Evolution, whatever it is we are going to study, that is not a single process of development is occurred. Why? Because it is a complex. The evolution process which is occurring is very complex in nature. So, how it is occurred? So, evolution in stages. So, evolution, it is a complex process which is not a single process which is occurred earlier. So, what is happening here? The step by step modifications of the DNA. The DNA which is going to develop the new variations, as we have seen that the structural organization of the DNA is going to be altered. It is not one time alteration of the DNA structure occurred. So for several times the DNA structure undergoes changes in its structure that brings continuation changes in the DNA structure by means of mutation or maybe radiometric radiations, whatever it is a factor that show an impact on the changing structure of the DNA that brings the evolution. Under that, for example, if you see the structure of the flatworm, planaria, if you take planaria, so the planaria consisting of eye spots, but which is not exactly eye, but they resemble like eyes. And these eyes which are found in flatworm like planaria, they helps them to detect the object by using the light. For detection of light detection, this is useful and makes them to survive. But exactly they are not looking eye, but they are looking like eyes, and which helps them to detect and also help them to survive. That is what from simplest eye spot it is occurred the changes in structure of the DNA allows in the formation of, so simplest eye spot they usually develop by bringing the changes in the structure of the DNA and allows in the formation of compound eyes in insects. In case of insects, compound eyes they have developed. Later on, the changing in structure of the DNA brings that the development of complex structure. Structure is very complicated in our eye. It is looking like a single ball, but it consisting of many structures in it. So that is what. So from the simplest to compound eyes are formed in insects. From compound eyes to complex structure of eye is formed. Complex structure in higher animals. So in this way we can see that from the simplest to the compound, from compound to the complexity in structure is developed. This kind of development, whatever it is occurred here, is due to the changing in the structure of the DNA, and which is occurred step by step manner. But it is not occurred at a time. At a time, the organisms they do not develop eyes. First, they allow us to development of the eye spot. These eye spot later on develop into compound eyes, means many eyes are formed. So from this, many eyes are later on developed into a single eye, which is complex in structure, that helps us to identification and also to survive. That is what we can see, that the evolution is not occurred by means of single DNA structure change. That is what evolution we have seen. And also we can see that whatever the traits or characteristics that are developed earlier in organisms, that is used for one purpose, later on the organism developed them to different purpose. For example, for this we can see the example of birds, feathers in birds and dinosaurs. So here the feathers of birds and dinosaurs, what is the useful? Earlier in the beginning of the earth, or earlier in the beginning of the formation of these organisms, the feathers helps them to keep warm. So feathers helps them to keep them warm. That is, the feathers are acting like insulators. What is the function of the feathers earlier? Insulators. So they act like insulators. As we know that what is insulation means, do not allow us to pass heat. They are called insulators. Here also the feathers, they prevent the loss of heat from the body to survive from the bad weather condition. That is the importance of feathers, which is commonly formed both in birds as well as dinosaurs. Later on, what is happening here? Along with that insulation in case of birds, the feathers are help them to fly. Not only for insulation, and also useful for them to fly. That is also one of the modification or change is occurred in feathers of the birds. And finally these are formed into wing. That is the part we can see the development of organisms is developed by step manner. So these dinosaurs, is the dinosaurs can fly? No, they can't fly. So what is the use of these feathers? The feathers are useful only for the purpose of the insulation, but not useful for them to fly. In this way, we can see that, so what is occurred, the evolution, for one purpose they have developed, these only they use them to another way. That type of evolution also we can observe in case of feathers of the birds and dinosaurs. The feathers are usually formed to keep them warm. That is, they are acting like insulators. But later on, the birds develop these feathers to fly, and these developed into wing. But in case of dinosaurs, the feathers are making them to keep warm only. That is, they are acting like insulators. In this way, we can see that the evolution is occurred by step manner. This is what we have seen, that evolution under the process. Now we are going to discuss another small concept is natural selection we have studied. Now we are discussing artificial selection. So what is artificial selection? So artificial is nothing but man-made, as we know that. And then what is selected? So under artificial selection, what man did? Man selected some traits. How these are useful them to develop qualities. For the development of the qualities, man selected some traits or characters. And that type of selection is called as artificial selection. So what it is called? Artificial selection. So what is artificial selection is? It is nothing but man select traits. What he selected? Traits. Traits means, as we know that, characters. And what he did? Useful to him, developing qualities. Of plants and domesticated plants and animals. So the selected characteristics of any form of these domesticated plants and animals, he select that characteristics for their quality, to survival quality, at the same time useful to the man. For that purpose, he select the organisms for and develop them for him purpose. So under that, we have seen that what he is going to do. What are the characteristics he selected from that plant? He separate them. After separating them, he allows to inherit it. Means he allowed to carry the characteristics from one generation to another generation. Later on, he allowed to breed them for several generations, and finally he collect them and use them for different purpose. That is the way in which the man selected the traits. Under that process only many plants are developed, like sugarcane, wheat. Again we can see ornamental plants, and also we can see some of the vegetables which have developed by means of artificial selection only. So for one of the best example, which is artificial selected by man. So generally we have seen that, so wild cabbage is found earlier. What is that? Wild cabbage. So from the wild cabbage, he allowed to develop the various kind of different plants by the artificial selection. So from this wild cabbage, he developed broccoli. From this wild cabbage, he developed cauliflower. From this wild cabbage, by the artificial selection, he developed kale. From this, he developed kohlrabi. From these, he developed Brussels sprout. So various form of the plants what we are going to see in nowadays or present days, they are developed by the man by means of artificial selection. So whatever it is we have seen, these are developed by the man for the purpose of different parts of the plant, like leaf, like flower, or both leaf and stem. For that purpose, he used to develop these plants, and which he allowed to crop them, and he is producing the crops. That is the way in which we can see that under plants also the step by step evolution is occurred. From this wild cabbage, these remaining all are developed by the man by the artificial selection. So this is what under our study of evolution we have seen the evidences, and which we have seen that various concepts under evolutionary evidence.